Let's start off with the NFC. You have the Eagles and you have the 49ers. To me, these are the most complete teams, not only in the NFC, but the most complete teams in the NFL. When you look at, the Eagles, they can beat you in so many ways. A lot of that actually is due to the play by Jalen Hurts. His ability to run the ball, clearly his ability to throw the ball, his ability to see defenses. It's just, think about this, man. Jalen Hurts was benched at Alabama for Tua. Went to Oklahoma, didn't win in Oklahoma, but that was mostly because Oklahoma's defense wasn't really that good. We know about Big 12 defenses, but who would have thought that Jalen Hurts would have went from the player that got benched at Alabama for Tua in the national championship, by the way, to come and to get to this point where he has been arguably one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I surely didn't see it happening. In fact, I was one person on record saying, "Yo, Jalen Hurts has to show me more." I have not, especially, again, I talked about this on the podcast a bunch of times. I couldn't get out of my head the vision of when they played Tampa a couple years ago, maybe 2 years ago, and Tampa said, "Yo, we are going to stop the run. You're going to have to beat us throwing the ball." And the Eagles just look putrid. But that is then, this is now. And the Eagles, again, there's so many levels to this Eagles team. When we talk about Jalen Hurts, we talk about the run game and Miles Sanders. We talk about the incredible weapons that he has on the outside, whether it's Devontae Smith or A.J. Brown or Dallas Goedert. When you talk about the offensive line, Lane Johnson, Jason Kelsey. When you talk about the defense, Fletcher Cox. When you talk about defensive line, Fletcher Cox. When you talk about, Hassan Riddick. When you talk about Darius Slate, like, they have so many pieces and they can beat you in so many ways. They have played, outside of a couple games, they've played the best. You can kind of argue that they have been one of the teams to play the best brand of football there is. And the other team, of course, is the 49ers. Now, I'm going to talk about this in a second, but I think that the AFC side, of course, talking about the Chiefs and the Bengals, they're more centered around their quarterbacks and how their quarterbacks will fare kind of dictates how the game will go, in my opinion. And of course, we'll talk about this more in a second. But for the NFC, because both of these teams are so equally matched, I think that it's going to be there's something that whether it's going to be the passing game, the running game, the defense, I don't think that it's solely based on the quarterback in as far as winning this game. When we talk about the 49ers, Brock Purdy, of course, Mr. Irrelevant, last pick in the draft. We keep waiting for him to come down to earth. We keep waiting for him to look like the rookie that he is. We keep waiting for him to be the reason that this 49ers team doesn't win. And he just hasn't shown that. Now, yes, there were a couple instances against the Cowboys where he looked like a rookie. There was some bad reads. He kind of fell into some bad habits, whether it's scrambling backwards or throwing into tight windows when you had an easy pass over there. Now, of course, that didn't come back to bite them because they beat the Cowboys, but that kind of also goes into exactly how good this 49ers team is. I mean, again, kind of like the Eagles, you can argue that the 49ers is the best unit in football, whether we talk about Deebo Samuels, whether we talk about Christian McCaffrey, whether we talk about the offensive line that's really good, whether we talk about the defense and Nick Bosa and Fred Warner and Ward. And again, kind of like the Eagles, there is not really there's not really a weakness in this 49ers team outside of possibly the quarterback. For the Eagles, the weakness probably is their run defense. But they have been their defense has been good for the last few weeks. So, or their run defense, I should say, has been good for the last few weeks. So the question is, who do I have winning this game, the NFC Championship? Again, this game is going to go down, or going to come down to which team can assert their dominance more in areas that the other team might not be able to. Meaning, I think the theme of this game is going to be the Philadelphia Eagles offensive line against the 49ers defensive line. And the 49ers defense, when you have so many great weapons on both sides, you have to win the line of scrimmage. The line of scrimmage is what's going to do it. You have certified Hall of Famers all over the field, or future Hall of Famers all over the field. And I think it's going to be the littlest things that are, when you have teams this evenly matched, in my opinion, it's the little things. It's the little things that determine between winning and losing. I will say this. I don't expect this to be a high-scoring game. I understand what we saw from the Eagles and against the Dallas. Against the Cowboys. Against the Giants, and what we saw from the 49ers against the Cowboys. But the Cowboys and the Giants are inferior teams at this point to the Eagles and the 49ers, and I think that it's going to be a low-scoring game. It's going to be a low-scoring game. I think that the defenses are going to shine more for both teams, because you have both teams are fast defenses. It's very tough picking this game because of how evenly matched there are. I will say this though. I said it's not going to come down to quarterback play, but I do believe that Jalen Hurts is better than Brock Purdy, even if they're both playing their best. And I think that while the AFC might lean more towards quarterback, I don't think the quarterback can win them the game as far as in the NFC, but I think that they can lose it for them. And I don't. I sound kind of crazy right now. To me, this is the ultimate pick'em game, because both teams are very equal in most aspects. In fact, I'll say this. Before I give my picks, I told you how each team could win. Let me tell you how each team could lose. Let's start with the 49ers. Again, it goes back to Brock Purdy. And Brock Purdy continues to he continues to play better than expected. Let me say that. But he also has moments, as we saw in the Cowboys game, where, Trayvon Diggs, if he would have caught the ball, there's moments where he can. It's kind of like what Jimmy G used to do, just not as much. Jimmy G, the thing about Jimmy G is he'll always give you one. He'll always give you one or two that you have an opportunity to get, whether that's interception, whether that's a fumble. And Brock Purdy, at least we've seen for the last 2 weeks, has shown he'll give you one or two. It's just, are you going to take it? I feel that if the Cowboys would have capitalized on some of those interception possibilities, you never know. So I think that, again, he's still a rookie, and there have been moments when he looked like a rookie. Now, those moments have been few and far between at this point, but you don't know. With this team being so stacked, not to mention the injuries. I mean, Christian McCaffrey, he's hurt as well. Like, he's dealing with a calf injury. So, I mean, you still have George Kittle, you still have Deebo Samuels, but again, it's if Brock Purdy plays anything like he did against the Cowboys in certain moments, that they're going to lose. And for the Eagles, again, it goes back to their run defense. Their run defense has kind of been their thorn on their side this entire year. And now you're going against a team that has, like I said, a Christian McCaffrey, whether he's healthy or not, he's still playing. And has a Deebo Samuel. And this running game is in this running. I mean, Brock Purdy can even put the ball on the ground, or can even run the ball. Their run defense can be a problem. Even though they did look really good against the Giants, however, the Giants' offensive line is trash. I mean, come on now. So who am I picking? I think I'm gonna go with the Eagles. I'm gonna go with the Eagles because I understand that, the 49ers is definitely not the not the Giants, but the Eagles haven't. I mean, they have one loss or two losses this year, or something like that. Actually, they have one loss with Jalen Hurts as their starting quarterback, I believe. And I think it's going to be a lot closer than a lot of people think. I'm gonna say 21-17. I think it's gonna be a defensive bout. I think it's going to be, I think it's just gonna be the best slugfest, and that kind of bodes well for the 49ers. However, I trust Jalen Hurts more at this point. So I have the Eagles beating the San Francisco 49ers 21-17. Oh, man, you stayed to the end of the video. I appreciate you. If you like what you saw, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you'll never miss any content from your boy. You can also go back and watch past episodes, past clips, and don't forget that the Unpopular Podcast, new episodes drop every Wednesday and Saturday. Appreciate you.